Good evening and welcome to the Virtual Public Information Center for the NJDOT Safe Routes to School Design Assistance Programs Shunpike Road Sidewalk Project, located in the Township of Chatham in Morris County. This Virtual Public Information Center is a live event that will last from 5:30 p.m. until 7:30 p.m. Following the meeting, a copy of this presentation will be posted to YouTube for 7 days for you to view. The YouTube link to the recorded presentation of the event will replace this link on the Township website once the presentation is complete. What to expect: a brief 15-minute presentation, and then viewers will be provided time to ask questions. We will be muting your microphones during the presentation portion. You may use the chat box or the Q&A button on the right side of your screen towards the top to enter in a question at any time. However, they will not be addressed until the presentation is complete. Once the presentation is complete, we will be unmuting your microphones if you'd rather ask your question verbally as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, any questions must be emailed to the Township Engineer by December 19th. The contact information is provided at the end of this presentation. The New Jersey Safe Routes to School mission is a statewide initiative to enable and encourage students to safely walk and bicycle to school. A federal grant allows for federal funding reimbursement for bicycle pedestrian safety improvements within 2 miles of a K-8 school, where there is a considerable percentage of students who walk or bike to school. The funds are administered by the NJDOT Division of Local Aid and Economic Development. This Safe Routes to School project actually addresses pedestrian safety for 2 elementary schools in Chatham by providing sidewalk along the south side of Shunpike Road. As Shunpike Road is the main access route for Washington Avenue Elementary School, located on the continuation of Shunpike Road, Watchung Avenue, and Lafayette Elementary School, wherein Shunpike Road is a main access to Lafayette Avenue. As you can see on this project map, the project is approximately a half a mile in length along Shunpike Road between Pine Street and Falmouth Road. One can note the close proximity to both schools. To the east, Washington Avenue, and to the south, Lafayette School. Over 40% of students walk or bike to these K-8 schools. Shunpike Road between Pine Street and Falmouth Road, sidewalk only currently exists on the north side. No sidewalk is present on the south side. Therefore, there have been reported complaints and safety concerns with that lack of sidewalk, as students are forced to cross Shunpike Road at non-signalized intersections to access the sidewalk on the north side of the road. The project proposes to construct ADA-compliant sidewalk between Pine Street and Falmouth Road along the south side of Shunpike Road. This will complete the sidewalk network and will also eliminate the desire to cross Shunpike Road at unsignalized intersections. As you can see in this image on the screen, the existing sidewalk, shown in green, has a large gap where sidewalk does not currently exist along the south side of the road, shown in red. This lack of sidewalk forces students to cross Shunpike Road where there are no pedestrian signals. When constructed, the red portion will complete the sidewalk network along Shunpike Road. Here are a couple images of the typical existing roadside along Shunpike Road. Both of the images are looking east, where the sidewalk would be installed on the right side of the road, the south side. Note that the roadside is a relatively flat roadside and that most trees are offset from the road, and thus the project will have little impact. Note the presence of the sidewalk on the north side of Shunpike Road in the left side of the picture, and the lack of signalized intersection or crosswalks for students to cross the road to access that sidewalk. The proposed sidewalk construction will maintain the existing roadway width along Shunpike Road and maintain all driveway access to the properties within the project limits. In order to complete the sidewalk construction, there will be some other minor construction work, including stormwater inlets, drainage pipes, some granite curbing at the ADA curb ramps, and small stretches of asphalt lip curb, topsoiling, minor driveway modifications within public right-of-way, and utility relocations for underground facilities. We will now take a couple minutes to review the project plan as shown on the screen. The next two slides, figures 1 and 2, depict the anticipated project construction. If you are the homeowner of a property within the immediate area, you would have received these plans in the mail, along with the handout informing you of this event. As shown in the cross-section view in the top left corner of the page, the existing roadside will be modified to include a 4-foot sidewalk, constructed to ADA compliance with a grade no steeper than 2%. To the outside of the sidewalk, minor regrading efforts will be required to tie the proposed sidewalk back to the existing ground. All work will be performed within the public's right-of-way, which in this case, as the road is a county road, is under the county's jurisdiction. Now looking at the plan view section of this slide where the satellite imagery shows the existing topography and the proposed improvements, you will see that the work associated with this project is entirely on the south side of Shunpike Road, starting at Pine Street. At Pine Street, the existing sidewalk can be observed to the west. As such, new sidewalk will be constructed to the east. ADA compliant curb ramps will be provided at all intersections, including the east side of Pine Street, where the project has its western limit. The federal grant that reimburses public funding for such a project does not provide for other upgrades such as pavement resurfacing or improvements that stretch across the roadway. You will see that the sidewalk will stretch through several driveways between Pine Street and Falmouth Road. The contractor will be required to maintain access or coordinate with a homeowner if access is to be interrupted temporarily. Minor driveway grading modifications will be necessary within the limits of the public right-of-way. Public right-of-way stretches several feet outside the limits of the roadway, generally between 8 feet and 12 feet in this area. These minor grading changes will be required within the narrow strip between the road and the sidewalk, also known as the driveway apron, and on the back side of the sidewalk and the rest of the existing driveway toward the property. To provide the ADA compliant grading along the sidewalk, this is required. The sidewalk and the narrow driveway apron adjacent to the road will consist of a gray concrete slab typical of sidewalks to the east and to the west of the project. However, any driveway modifications that are required behind the sidewalk will be replaced in kind to match the existing material, asphalt, pavers, etc. Continuing on to figure 2 of the proposed project plan, you will see the proposed sidewalk continues running along the south side of Shunpike Road. The approach, as described on the previous page, is identical throughout the project. Note the presence of several more driveways, the installation of granite block curbing at curb ramps, which will be ADA compliant at each of the intersections, and some drainage modifications. As noted on the previous plan, all work will be limited to the area within the public right-of-way with some minor driveway modifications. The sidewalk installations end at Falmouth Road. To the east of Falmouth Road, if you look closely, you'll see there's existing sidewalk, which the proposed curb ramp to be constructed in this project will meet this existing sidewalk network to complete the sidewalk network. The existing sidewalk to the east of Falmouth Road meets up with the sidewalk along Lafayette Street, which allows students to head toward the Lafayette School to the south or Students can continue to head east along Shunpike Road, which turns into Watchung Avenue, and then access the Washington Avenue School 1 block to the east. Construction work will be performed only during daytime hours, based on the residential nature of the roadway along this stretch. Also, to limit the impact to the public and property owners, the work will be limited to 1 block sections at a time. So the work will be essentially split into thirds as the project spans 3 blocks along Shunpike Road. Work will be completed in an east to west fashion so that any constructed sidewalk can be of immediate use for pedestrians heading toward the schools. The road will remain open and no detours will be required. For many of the activities, the roadway will be reduced to a 1-lane bidirectional route for the block that is under construction. Flagging operations will be required for this work. Driveway access will be maintained to all properties. During sidewalk and asphalt curing time, coordination with homeowners may be required, and if necessary, steel plates will be temporarily placed on driveways to maintain access. The contractor will be required to complete and refill any excavation or pavement removal work within the same shift, as to not leave any open excavations that may be a danger to vehicles or property owners. The existing pedestrian crossings to the west of Pine Street and at Lenape Trail will be maintained. The construction cost is estimated at around $650,000, which is reimbursed through the federal Safe Routes to School program, as administered by NJDOT Local Aid. The anticipated project schedule is as follows. Final design to be completed around the end of the year, with construction likely in the summertime. This concludes the presentation portion of the Virtual Public Information Center. We appreciate you taking the time to participate. Should you have any questions, please do one of the following. Use the chat box or Q&A sections on the upper right-hand side of the presentation window to enter in a question. Or, if you prefer to ask your question verbally, participants will be unmuted now so they can ask their questions. We will try to answer the questions in the manner that they were received. We will also accept questions up to 7 days after this event via the email that is listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you.